A busy junction in s-Hertogenbosch, also known as Den Bosch. For the Netherlands, unusual, old-fashioned street design that will be updated after the city hospital moves away from here. On an evening in July, 4 young cyclists are waiting at a red traffic light. The cyclists are 2 girls and 2 boys, aged 16 and 17. A turning car needs to pass them on the narrow bridge. The huge American pickup truck is even more unusual for the Netherlands. At the wheel is a 24-year-old beginning driver. Eyewitnesses report he deliberately takes the turn at a very high speed. Underestimating the power of the car, he gets in a spin, slams into the cyclists and comes to a halt at the bridge railing. Only one of the cyclists manages to jump away in time. The 3 others are hit, but can be considered very lucky as just one of them has to be treated for minor injuries. All's well that ends well? Not really. Police accuses the driver of reckless, dangerous driving, and for a beginner driver that means his driver's license is suspended and taken away from him. He is taken in police custody and his car is seized. Then something interesting happens. After the first front-page reports, the local newspaper's website is flooded with angry comments towards the driver. The paper brings article after article in the days following the incident. Extra police surveillance does not stop road rage. More complaints despite extra surveillances. Reckless driving is the order of the day. There is even an elaborate interview with one of the victims. She says, "We could have been dead. It was such a big monster truck." Her injuries? A bruised knee. The newspaper calls the driver, who was released from police custody. He hangs up twice before he tells the reporter that he is above the comments on the internet, that they should stop harassing him, and that he doesn't feel remorse, thus provoking even more outrage. The newspaper continues the coverage and does a public inquiry as to what people think are danger hotspots in the city. A 2-page spread displays a map with no less than 16 junctions that are deemed unsafe. A national traffic expert is brought in to judge the safety of the junction of the incident. The city council is asked to respond to his findings and advice. A city spokesperson explains the city is already taking action. The former chief editor writes a very angry column about reckless drivers, traffic jackasses, and the driver nearly killing 4 young cyclists. He is pleased this beginning driver has to do a compulsory safe driving refresher course. This will cost him €800 and he will have to take 3 days off from work. On failing the course, his driver's license will be revoked permanently. Serves him right, because that is the way to handle these terrible traffic offenders that everybody fears. Just when you think the public outrage comes to a boiling point, everything stops. In November, a small article shows the driver got his license back in October. The car was already returned to him, and so far no decision was taken about a possible prosecution. But the incident was not forgotten. On the very last day of 2010, the newspaper looks back at the year in pictures. The World Cup fans in orange, and this particular traffic incident seemed to sum up 2010 for s-Hertogenbosch. So just how dangerous are the roads in this city? There were 339 injuries and 7 casualties in 2000. The figures dropped sharply every year to 133 injuries and just 1 road death in 2009. Only 44 of these injured people needed medical treatment. Reckless driving does occur in the Netherlands, but from the public outrage to this particular incident, it is clear that it is uncommon and not tolerated. The figures show that traffic in s-Hertogenbosch is very safe indeed. But drivers of big cars endangering other people in traffic, especially cyclists and pedestrians, are treated with contempt, even if the damage they did was relatively small. The outrage after this incident may seem a bit exaggerated, but if it makes one thing clear, it is that cyclists matter in the Netherlands.